Well, welcome to the 700 Club. The United States continues to build up its military presence in the Middle East. A second aircraft carrier is reportedly now preparing to deploy to the region.
This news comes after the president and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had a private meeting in the Oval Office yesterday. Chris Mitchell reports from Jerusalem.
On Truth Social, President Trump said he told Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that he prefers to make a deal with Iran. There was nothing definitive reached other than I insisted that negotiations with Iran continue to see whether or not a deal can be consummated. But if not, we'll just have to see what the outcome will be.
Well, look, the president's told his entire senior team that we should be trying to cut a deal that ensures the Iranians don't have a nuclear weapon. But if we can't cut that deal, then there's another option on the table. So I think the president's going to continue to preserve his options.
One of those options is a credible military threat. The Wall Street Journal reports the Pentagon ordered a second aircraft carrier to prepare to deploy to the region. This adds to the USS Abraham Lincoln carrier, F-15 and F-35 fighter jets, and Patriot missile defense batteries. Prime Minister Netanyahu's statement said the discussion included negotiations with Iran, Gaza, and regional developments, and added the Prime Minister emphasized the security needs of the State of Israel in the context of the negotiations. Israel is concerned not only about Iran's nuclear program, but its arsenal of ballistic missiles. President Trump and Secretary of State Rubio have said missiles should be part of the negotiations, but Iran's foreign minister says they're off the table. Israel announced the successful test of David's Sling, one layer of Israel's multi-tiered anti-missile defense system. It's concerned Iran could launch hundreds or thousands of missiles at once to overwhelm its defenses. In a rare move, President Masoud Pezeshkian acknowledged that the crackdown on the protesters caused great sorrow.
We are obliged to serve all those who were harmed during these protests. We are ready to listen to the people's voice. We are their servants. We are not seeking confrontation with the people.
Some observers dismissed the apology as an attempt to curry favor with President Trump during negotiations. The regime has killed as many 40,000 or more protesters. This man shared what happened to his wife and daughter. 2 days ago, she went to the courthouse asking why they killed her daughter. They sent her to prison. In prison, they raped her. They also handcuffed me. They killed my daughter for protesting. People, wake up. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, CBN Chief White House correspondent Kelly Wright joins us now. So, Kelly, why is the president negotiating with Iran? Well, does he really think that they'll keep to some kind of deal?
Well, Gordon, good morning to you. The president wants one thing, and it's very important to him. He wants to have peace, and he's going to great lengths to be able to accomplish that, even with the tyrannical regime of Iran. Keep in mind, the president's philosophy has always been peace through strength, which is why you see an armada of U.S. naval ships in the region. The bottom line here is that the president is trying to wait till the final moment to give Iran's regime an opportunity to come strike a deal with the United States and comply with that deal in order to stop its penchant for developing uranium enrichment, nuclear weapons, as well as ballistic missiles, and to also do something else, as the president has talked about: stop cracking down on Iranian protesters who are demonstrating against this regime.
Well, I would add to it, can they stop funding terror? They're the principal sponsor of Hezbollah, and clearly they support Hamas. That seems to be part of their overall goal. Their ideology calls for the destruction of Israel, and then when they're done with that, the destruction of the USA. So that rhetoric has been repeated for 47 years, and shouldn't we, at this point in time, believe it?
We should believe it, and Senator Lindsey Graham, the U.S. Senator, has always touted that. He says, look, you have to believe what the Iranian regime is stating. They're saying death to Israel, death to America, and he's of the persuasion that you should believe it. They've said it often enough. And he, privately and publicly, has been urging the president to actually carry out some action that would result in regime change. We don't know what that will look like militarily at this point. But the bottom line, there are members of Congress who think, like Senator Lindsey Graham, and say enough is enough. The Iranian regime has continued to fund proxies like Hezbollah and Hamas and even the Houthi rebels, and we've seen what devastation those particular agents of Iran have been able to inflict, the harm they've inflicted on Israel. And so because of that, they are also urging the president privately and even publicly to not acquiesce or be compromised by Iran's penchant for also spreading lies, saying that they're going to negotiate with us and then not complete the deal.
Well, let's turn to Congress and their support of the president. The administration lost a largely symbolic vote on tariffs. Will Congress back him on any kind of military action in Iran?
Right now, it's very divided, as you know. There are people on Capitol Hill who are trying to call the president to account with the War Powers Act. I just mentioned Senator Lindsey Graham. There's the other side who are supporting the president and saying, we will support you, we will back you on what you have to do to take care of Iran. So because of that divide, the political wrangling that's going on, the president will have to move through all of that, regardless of what happens. If he gets a treaty, if he gets a deal, rather, with Iran, that will have to be subject to the approval of Congress. If he conducts a military strike, he will obviously be criticized for doing that as well. They are trying to get him to comply with the War Powers Act and go through Congress, but the president still holds the power to keep all of his options on the table, including military options.
You've been talking with Iranians in D.C. It's largely a Christian community. What are they telling you? What do they want the president to do?
Gordon, it's heartbreaking, what I've heard, the stories that you just saw that Chris Mitchell was talking about from families that have been devastated by the Iranian brutal crackdown. And what people have been telling me, the Iranian Christians, they've stated, we are publicly saying that we support the president, but we do want him to do something privately. They don't want to speak out against the president because they believe he has helped them in so many ways. And they're stating that there are people on the ground who are literally being killed. They can't walk the streets at night because snipers are up on the rooftops to actually aim fire at innocent people, so they're being shut in. And even people in prison are being violated and brutalized. So they're actually pleading with the president of the United States, draw that red line and say no more, enough is enough, stop watching the slaughter of innocent people in Iran. They're praying. They're praying and hoping that the president will hear their prayer, hear their plea, and actually respond to their faith in God and in this president. Now, I must state here, they don't want a Shah. They don't want an Ayatollah. They want democracy, is what they've been telling me, Gordon.
Well, we join with their prayers and their struggle. It's absolutely brutal what that government is doing to its own people. It mirrors what happened under Suharto in Indonesia now almost 20 years ago. And that actually it's now 30 years ago. I'm getting old. And it's amazing to me that we're not immediately acting, but I guess let's wait until we have enough strength to do it. Let's turn to the president's cabinet. Yesterday wasn't a good moment, I guess, for both Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, over the release of Epstein files, and then Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick is under a lot of fire for concealing his relationship with Epstein after Epstein's conviction. Are either of them in danger of being fired?
So far, no. The president is showing unwavering support for Howard Lutnick, and he's showing support for Pam Bondi, even going so far as to say that her hearing yesterday, he supported her and actually applauded her efforts. But look, the public is looking at this as well. And what happened is that a lot of people are now concerned not only about the Epstein's file, but also the way that acrimonious hearing went on yesterday. And you could look at both sides, Congress as well as the Attorney General. And many people are walking away from that moment, Gordon, and they're saying, what is happening to our country that we cannot be civil to each other and answer questions without attacking each other, demeaning each other. So both sides have to come to the table, if you will, because what people witnessed yesterday, many are saying that was heartbreaking to watch and difficult to watch, and they want to see this Attorney General as well as the President, as well as members of Congress, do better, act better, be better.
Well, I'm all for that. It just seems like every hearing is turning into political theater, and everybody's trying to score political points. And it's like we never stop campaigning, and it would be, in my view, really good if we really started governing. Well, Kelly, thanks for the insight. Thanks for your prayers for our nation and your prayers for the Iranian people. Their suffering is unimaginable, and thank you for the report.